Hey everybody, happy Easter. I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to be looking through this old baseball card collection of cards from the 1950s and 1960s. This was given to me by a friend of the family today at Easter. They wanted me to look through it and kind of go through and see what these cards are worth nowadays. Back in the day, obviously, these cards used to be worth a lot of money in the 80s and 90s, so we're going to go through and check them out. The first page, you can see a bunch of cards from the 60s here. We've got the best cards here, Roberto Clemente, 1961 Topps. Check out this card. I do not have this card in my personal collection, but you could see that the card does have some wear and tear, a little bit of a scrape mark. Looks like it might have met some concrete at some point. Also, it has an X on the back, which obviously will reduce the value of that card. If it was in mint condition, that would be worth hundreds of dollars. But in that condition, as you saw, one of the flea markets, I picked up a 1968 Roberto Clemente for, I think it was $2. So in that condition, you're probably looking at maybe like a $5 card or so. It looks like these cards are all put together by team. You can see we have another Roberto Clemente postcard, which came in cereal boxes there. That's a nice one. Some more buckos from the 60s. We got 1960, 1961, 62. Some more cards from the 60s. And back then, kids used to really abuse their cards. They only paid, I think it was like a cent a piece on average for these cards. I think they would come in packs of 5 cards for 5 cents. And most kids just liked to get the gum out of them. I remember my mom telling me she used to have tons and tons of baseball cards from the late 50s and early 60s, just absolute like a whole shoebox or a huge box full. And my grandma threw them away, and my mom said she didn't really care because she only bought them for the gum. Here you see some more cards from the 60s. There's a Dick Groat. He was the 1960 NL MVP. And that looks like that's it for the Bucko section, the Pirates. Here's some Red Sox cards, it looks like. Check this one out. Ted Williams, 1955 Topps. This is a beautiful card. Now, notice it's not in the greatest shape. You can see it does have some wear, but the corner is like really, really soft. But this is a classic card. The second card in the set. 55 and 56 Topps looked very similar. The way I tell them apart is 55 Topps has the solid backgrounds, and 56 Topps put like some kind of like action shot in there where they actually show the field and stuff. So that's a nice Ted Williams, the splendid splinter, one of the greatest players of all time. Lost a few years of his career serving our country over in World War II. So let's see if there's any other great Red Sox in here. You can see more cards from the 60s. Got a 1963 Topps card right there of Ike Delic, or Delic. 1957, getting back to some 50s. I always like the 1957 set a lot. I would love to do a Throwback Thursday of 1957, but unfortunately, a pack of those is going to cost me tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Maybe one of these days. Next, we have some more Red Sox here. 1961, 1960. I'll tell you what, they might have most of the 60s, 60-61 set all together. All right, this is the page that I was looking forward to, the Yankees page. Check these out. I don't see a Mickey Mantle on this page, but I do see Babe Ruth right here. Actually, 2 Babe Ruths. I just picked up, there's 3 of them here. I think I picked up a set of 5 of those for like $20 at a flea market. I'm not sure if I made a video about that one or not. It was in an indoor flea market, but 1962 Topps had a Babe Ruth special subset, and that was pretty cool. Also, Roger Maris right here. This card, this is Roger Maris's most valuable card. The reason why is this is his 1962 Topps card, and this card was really, really in demand because this is the card that commemorated him breaking Babe Ruth's single-season record of 60 home runs. You can see on the back there, it has him down for 61 home runs, and that was an iconic number in baseball for many, many years. A lot of people, in fact, still consider 61 to be the single-season record set by Roger Maris. As you know, that number has since been eclipsed multiple times by guys like Sammy Sosa, and Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds at the height of the steroid era. We've got a Whitey Ford, bunch of Hall of Famers in this Yankees era of the 60s. Casey Stengel, legendary manager. New York Yankees team card. Probably have Mickey Mantle in there somewhere. Bobby Richardson. Let's see what else we have here. Some more cards from the late 50s and 60s. Haven't seen anything earlier than 63. That's the oldest card that I've seen so far. Earliest has been that Ted Williams. And back then in the day, the kids used to play a game called Leaners, where they would take the cards and lean them up against the wall, and then they would take the cards and throw them as fast as they could and try to knock them down, and whoever knocked the last card down got all the cards, I think. I believe that's how it worked. My dad was telling me about it. Also, a lot of kids used to take the cards and put them in their bicycle spokes. They would just take some clothespins and just literally strap the cards onto those spokes and let them just flick up against the tire and make I guess it made a cool sound back then. And a lot of cards got damaged that way. So that's why probably you're not going to see anything greater than, like, if we got these graded, probably nothing greater than like a PSA 3 or 4 from this collection. Here's a good one. Stan Musial, 1960 and 1962 tops. Stan the Man Musial. He was born not too far away in a little town called Donora, Pennsylvania. The same place, same birthplace as Ken Griffey Jr. Check it out. Stan the Man Musial, one of the all-time greats. Let me stick that back in. You can see that it's missing. Part of that bottom left corner is missing. Again, a card like that, you might be able to pick up for $5 or so. You see me buy cards like that all the time for like $2 to $5. All right, next page. We got some more from the Cardinals. Tim McCarver, legendary announcer. Also, we've got a nice 1955 Topps card in there. They're always tough to tell because they don't say the year on the back of those, so that's how you have to remember little tricks like that. Solid background is 55. Some more Cardinals. Sam Jones, Wally Moon. If you're a Cardinals fan, you probably have heard of some of these guys, especially if you're in your 50s or 60s. Some of these names might be familiar. We're getting back to some older cards now. These nice, a little bit larger cards here. These are 1953 Topps. You can see they kind of like fill up the sheet and then go a little bit off the sheet. Topps used to make them a bit larger when they first started making cards for the first couple years. 1953 Topps. This is a very nice card. I like that set a lot. I also like 1952 Topps. We haven't seen any 52 yet, but hopefully we will. Next page. Mostly commons here. And next page, now we're into the Houston Colts. Not the Astros, this is the Colt 45s. And the best card here, it's not this Bob Ellis. It's missing like, I don't know, 15% of the card is missing. This is the best card. Check this one out. I always see this card out and about, and I still have not purchased it yet. One of these days I'm going to buy it. It's not that expensive. It's a Joe Morgan rookie card. 1965 Rookie Stars, Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan went on to be a Hall of Famer. And you can see it's a little bit off-center from top to bottom. You can see the left side is cut off there. That's how a lot of cards were all throughout, this era. You even saw it in the 80s and so on. Sometimes the 90s. Now we're into the Braves. The Braves have some good ones. You might recognize a couple of these guys. First of all, you probably recognize Bob Uecker, voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. Also, Eddie Matthews, fabulous player. Joe Torre, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. Warren Spahn, and Hank Aaron. Let's check out the Hammer and Hank. Hank Aaron, a lot of people consider him to be the career home run leader with 755. Of course, Barry Bonds broke that with 762. But a lot of people, of course, like I mentioned before, do not believe that Bonds did it in a legit fashion. So Hank Aaron's cards still hold their value. Every now and then, oftentimes I pick up Hank Aaron cards at that one flea market. Usually for like $3 to $5 in this condition. Love getting Hank Aaron cards. And I do not have this one in my personal collection. 1960 Topps Hank Aaron. That is a beautiful card. Again, you can see the corners are very well rounded, likely from hitting the wall at high speeds when they were being flicked. Thrown in boxes. Eddie Matthews, 1962 Topps is a nice one. These sheets are kind of cool, by the way. They've got, these are like an 8-count sheet for, like, it's kind of like specially designed for 1960 and 1955, 56 Topps cards that were horizontal in layout. You can see there's a 55 Joe J up there. Here's a 1956 Topps. That's what I was talking about, how it has that color background, little picture there. Still on the Braves, Milwaukee Braves. I haven't heard of many of these guys. Of course, I wasn't born until 1980, so a lot of these guys, they're just names to me, as they probably are to you, unless you are from this era. Now we get into the LA Angels. Couldn't really tell you any good LA Angels from this time period. I only know Eli Gerbub just because I bought one of his graded cards once, just to resell. Got a good deal on it. Next page. Some more 61s, 62s, 63. Here's a good page. The Chicago Cubs. We got some Cubby fans out there. And I see a few Ernie Banks cards. So let's check these out. Start with the oldest card here, Ernie Banks. He was famous for the phrase, "Let's play two." You can see it's not in the greatest shape. 1959 Topps Ernie Banks. Corners are well-rounded, but he's a Hall of Famer and one of the most legendary Cubs of all time. Check out those home run totals, 44, 28, 43, 47. He was definitely a power bat, one of the first power-hitting shortstops of baseball. Ernie Banks. We also got a 62 Topps and also his 61 Topps. So you have to be careful sliding these in. Even though these cards aren't in the greatest condition, I still got to be careful. Here's a nice Billy Williams. Billy Williams is a Hall of Famer. 1961 rookie, Billy Williams. That's a cool card. And, wow, there's 3 of them hanging out in there. 3 Billy Williams rookie cards. He's a Hall of Famer, and, you know, in this condition, again, not worth a ton of money, but still a really cool card just to have. I buy cards in that condition all the time just to have them. Back when I was a little kid with my brother, we would look up cards like that, and we would actually believe whatever it's in the backet was the value, no matter what the condition. You could find a wrinkled up, creased, written on card, and if it said it was worth like $500 in Beckett, we believed it was worth $500. But nowadays, with grading and everything being so prevalent, the condition really matters more than ever before. We got some more Cubs here. Ron Santo, legendary Cub, also broadcaster, former broadcaster. Some more Cubs. And now we get on to some San Francisco Giants. And check this one out, a Willie Mccovey rookie card. How about that? Willie Mccovey rookie, 1960 Topps. I just got this card not too long ago, sent to me in Fan Mail Friday, and I was super pumped about it. I saw this same card selling at Juniata Cards with a big crease down the middle for $20. So again, this card in this condition, probably looking about $10 to $20. If it was in mint condition, it would be worth hundreds and hundreds. And if it was graded and came out to a really nice graded condition, you'd be looking at a couple $1,000. Again, cards from this era are just tough to find in PSA 8, 9, and 10 condition. Super tough to find in PSA 10. Got another Willie Mccovey down here. I think that was one of those cereal box cards again. And oh, I almost missed this one. Willie Mays. The Say Hey Kid. Willie Mays, 1961 Topps. Has a little bit of paper loss. Actually, that's a hole you can kind of see through. Looks like somebody tacked this up on their wall at some point, I'm guessing. Nice Willie Mays, 1961 Topps. Most famous for making that amazing, it's not even over the shoulder catch, complete over the head catch, a no look basket catch. Got some other great players here. Juan Marichal, who had a really crazy windup. Felipe Alou, father of Moises Alou. Orlando Cepeda, some good solid Giants players from this era. Here's some more 1960, 61. Some more Giants, 63 Topps. Don Blazingame, cool name, but not real familiar with some of the commons from this era. And some more Giants, lots of Giants cards in this collection. Now we get on to the LA Dodgers, and here's a good one. Actually, a few good ones. Check these ones out right here. Boom, 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 and boom. These four are good. Sandy Koufax. This one's probably in the best condition. We'll look at the 61 tops. Sandy Koufax had a shortened career. Didn't really pitch a long time, but he was absolutely dominant, and he's a Hall of Famer. Sandy Koufax. Check out those numbers right there. Win-loss record's not real impressive right there. He would go on to really turn it on a little bit later throughout the 60s. And Sandy Koufax, this card would be worth a good bit if it was in better condition. You can see there's, even though this is probably the best shape of the Koufaxes, if you got this graded, it would probably come out to a PSA 1 just because of the corners and some creasing. They're really, really strict with grading. You might see a card, you might think it's going to be like a PSA 8 or 9, and then you see how it grades out, and it's like a PSA 3. There's another nice Koufax 1962 tops. It's a nice card. Nice clean back on that one. And this one's not in the greatest shape. 1960 Koufax. I'm not going to take that one out, but it looks like it might have some ink or something on it. We also have some, looks like there's two of them here. 1961 Don Drysdales. Two Don Drysdales. He was a really solid pitcher also. Clean backs. Slide those back in there. You Dodgers fans probably like seeing Drysdale. Gil Hodges. Couple Gil Hodges cards. Here's our first 1952 tops. Carl Erskine. 52 tops were kind of hard to come by, at least I guess back then. Don't really see too many of those out in the wild. That's kind of what I call it. Out in the wild at flea markets. In fact, I hardly ever run across 52 tops. I think most people have those kind of stored away in their collection. How about a Frank Howard 60 tops rookie card? Duke Snyder, 61. Next page. Some of you guys have probably heard of Jim Gilliam. Tommy Davis Gold Cup card up there. Not seeing any Jackie Robinsons in this collection. That would be pretty awesome. I have a 1956 Jackie Robinson somewhere in my collection. I think it's a PSA 3. Stored away in some box somewhere. Johnny Padres, 1960 tops. So the majority of the cards are from 60, 61, and 62. Those seems to be the 3 years when the collector who owns this collection was most active in the card market. I'm trying to figure out how many cards are here. It's a good bit of cards, probably close to 1,000 or so, I would say. We are on the Minnesota Twins now, back before the days of Kirby Puckett and Kent Herbeck. Not too familiar with any of these guys. I'm sure some of you are, you Minnesotians. Oh, there's Jim Cott. He was a good one. Harmon Killebrew. There we go. There's some guys we all recognize. Harmon Killebrew, Hall of Famer. Jim Cott never made the Hall of Fame, but he had the numbers to get close enough, actually, to Harmon Killebrews. Jim Cott just barely didn't make it. Let's see who else we have. Some Phillies now. Dallas Green, he was a manager at one point, if I'm not mistaken. 2 Dallas Greens. 1955 tops, Tom Qualters. 1954 tops, I think that's the first 54 tops I've seen. Paul Penson. Again, those 54 tops were also a little bit larger than the regular card. You can see about a millimeter or so. Next page, we got some more Phillies. Some more Phillies. Ruben Amaro Sr. Ruben Amaro Jr. might be familiar with. Let's see here. He was the Phillies GM for a while there, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, and held on to all his stars from the bygone Phillies days, back when they were good, back in like 07, 08, 09. That team just got old real quick, and Amaro Jr. didn't deal off the stars for prospects, and Phillies have been down for a while because of that, but they are coming back this year strong, it looks like. I think the Phillies might win that NL East. At least I picked them to win the NL East at the beginning of the season. That lineup they have is pretty scary if you're an opposing pitcher. Next page, we have some Baltimore Orioles, including Brooks Robinson. You'll recognize Brooks Robinson, of course. Actually, we've got 3 of his cards. Brooks, one of the greatest fielding third basemen of all time. Nice 1957 Dick Williams card there. That's John Powell's rookie card. That's Boog Powell. He has a barbecue out there on Utah Street at Camden Yards. Boog's Barbecue. Next page. Some more Baltimore Orioles from the 60s, actually like 58 to 62 or so. And some more Orioles. Let's see, we got Hoyt Wilhelm. He was a good one. And some more Orioles. Willie Miranda, 55. That's a 56. Couple 60s. 61s. And some more Orioles. No more Brooks Robinsons. Looks like the best cards were usually put on the front of the page. And I do believe that this collection, if there's doubles or triples, they put them together. Or maybe in this case not. Well, I guess on the back, the Steve Barber, there's a few of those put together. So that's one way to avoid duplicates if you have a binder. I don't know if you guys keep your cards in binders, but some people do that. If you have doubles or triples, just put 2 or 3 of them back to back. Oh, this is a good page. Here we go. How about this card right here? I love this card. Let me take this one out and show this to you. 1962 Topps Manager's Dream, Mickey Mantle. That's our first Mickey Mantle that we've seen in this collection. And he is with Willie Mays right there. This card in raw conditions, probably worth, I don't know, about $20, 10 to $20. If you get this graded, even like a PSA 3 or 4 would probably go for a good bit of money, around $100. I love this card, 1962 Topps Mickey Mantle. Anytime you see a Mickey Mantle card, that's a big deal. That's one that I would definitely like to have. Any Mantle from 52 all the way up to, what was Mantle's last card, 69. Got some home run leaders there. Willie Mays is on that one. Roberto Clemente is on that one with Hank Aaron. Got Billy Williams on that one. Brooks Robinson and Elston Howard on there. Next page, we have some of these commemorative cards from the playoffs, like Don Larson's perfect game. And I think these are from 1961, I want to say. Pretty cool still nonetheless. Here's another Mantle card, a 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle World Series card here. Check this one out. Mantle slams 2 homers. Game 2. That was against the Pirates. The Pirates beat the Yankees in the 1960 World Series. Oh, that sucks. Look on the back. There's an X on the back. I hate it when cards are written on. That really just destroys their value. But, I mean, the front of the card is still pretty awesome to look at. There's no big creases in there. I mean, the corners are a little bit rounded, but still really cool. And then we have some home run leaders cards, some rookie star cards here. Let's see, any big names there? Yeah, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, Willie Mays, Ernie Banks. Lots of good players on those cards. Next page, we have more leaders cards. A bunch of kind of weird how they did it. Just cut out their heads, basically, and put them on there. Warren Spahn. There's a Mickey Mantle home run leaders card. He had 54 home runs in 1961 and still did not win the home run crown because Roger Maris hit 61. A lot of people gave Roger Maris a hard time because it took him 162 games to break the record, and Babe Ruth only had 154 games when he hit 60. So Maris was getting hate mail and stuff. I think even his hair started falling out from the pressure, but he still did it. Here's a Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig benched after 2,130 games. Gehrig, of course, unfortunately had Lou Gehrig's disease. That's ALS, and his body just broke down, and there was literally no way that he would be able to continue to play. If he never contracted ALS, unfortunately, he probably would have played, who knows, 3,000 games. Cal Ripken Jr., of course, came along and broke that record in 1996. Lou Gehrig was one of my favorite players. Even though I never saw him play, I remember reading a book about him in like 8th grade called Iron Horse, and great story. Here's a Ted Williams card, Ted Williams Fleer card. I think these remain like 63 or thereabouts. Next page, we have these are older cards, Bob Feller. I just bought a Bob Feller not too long ago. I think it was like 52 Bowman. I think these are Fleer cards. You can see baseball greats. I think they were produced by Fleer, but I'm not sure. And I was never really into Fleer that much. I know Fleer did produce some cards back in the 60s and stuff. And some checklists. Checklists, of course, all colored in. Some people collect checklists. Other people just throw them in the trash. I pretty much hate checklists. And then here's the last page. Wow, there's a nice one here. Check this one out. These might be the best cards in the collection in terms of condition. 1957 Topps. There's also a 53 Satchel Paige down there. But check out this one. This is a Don Drysdale rookie card. I always forget which side these come out. These horizontal sleeves always throw me for a loop. Let me be careful with this one. 1957 Topps Don Drysdale rookie card. And it is in good shape. I don't see any creases on there. This is probably the most valuable card in the collection. You can see that one bottom left corner is a little bit rounded. I'm not really sure what this would come out to if you got this graded. But probably like, I don't know. What do you guys think? PSA 5 maybe? 5, 6? That is a nice card. Don Drysdale rookie. And there's also some other good ones on there too. You see Elston Howard up there in the corner. And how about a Yogi Berra, 1957 Topps. Check out the Yogi. A lot of you guys like your older Yankees from this era. Yogi Berra in really, really good shape. The only problem with this card is the centering is off. You can see it's kind of like elevated and off to the right. So it would be graded off center. But I don't know. This might be one that you could consider getting graded. Maybe come back a 5 or 6 with the OC qualifier there to tell everyone it's off center like they couldn't see it already. But Yogi Berra, that's a nice one also. So that is the collection, everybody. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think this entire collection would go for. If you were buying this collection or if you were selling this collection, what would you expect to get? The person that loaned this to me to look through just asked my opinion, basically. And I would say at least a few $100s for all these. Of course, the common cards aren't worth that much in the condition they're in, but there's some good ones in there, like the Drysdale and those few Mickey Mantles. So I would guess a few $100s. Let me know what you think. Some of you guys obviously are better with this era than I am. I'm mostly like a 80s and 90s guy because that's when I was collecting cards the most. So that's it for now, everybody. I hope you had a really happy Easter, and I will see you all tomorrow.